Welcome back. It is Thursday, December 29th in the NBA. You guys know the drill. My three favorite picks are on the way. Let's recap yesterday. So close to getting the brooms out, but we'll take a 4-1 day. The Greek Freak easily hits his over in points. Didn't matter what you had the line at. He scores 45. DeAndre Ayton easily hits his over in points. We had two added plays. Nikola Jokic is over in points plus assists. You can keep the assists. He scores over 40 points. Then we had a Kevin Durant and Kyrie same game parlay. That hits as well. Our only loss was Jordan Poole's over 27.5 points. He finishes 2 points shy. Shoots like 7 for 22 from the field. Terrible game for him, but back to the winning ways. We will take a 4-1 day. Now 6-2 over the last 2 days. We've been profitable in 14 of the last 16 NBA slates. I'll put the exact record over the last 16 days. We've been crushing the NBA. Let's make that 15 of 17 today. And if you're new, my name's Austin. Welcome to the Call on Our Shot community. If you want to do me a favor, we do these videos every single morning. Go hit that subscribe button down below. We just passed, I think, 62,000 subscribers. Let's hit 63,000. Drop a like too. Drop your favorite pick. And look, if we've helped you make some money over the stretch or over the all year long, consider becoming a COS All-Star. Just a little bit of a token of appreciation for all the work that I do. 100% for free for all of you guys. It's only $2.99 a month. If you're in a foreign nation, it might be $3.99. But either way, you also get to reduce the juice because the biggest perk of that, you get all of our plays early. We move lines very frequently. We got 62,000 of you guys out there watching. So we're going to move lines pretty frequently. But if you become a COS All-Star, you get those earliest lines, the best odds. So definitely take advantage of that. Only $2.99 a month, and I'll shout your name out at the end of tomorrow's video. Just click the join button down below. It's also Thursday, so our Thursday night football video went live last night. Now the game's not great, but Cowboys versus Titans, found my two favorite picks plus a long shot. You can check that video out. It'll be linked at the end of this one and in the comment section down below. Let's dive into my favorite plays, and while the best bet segment will not return today, we've been on too good of a run without it. I do consider this guy a pretty good bet today. I'm taking Kawhi Leonard over 20.5 points, minus 113 on FanDuel. If this goes up to 21.5, he can dive right into that. I think Kawhi Leonard scores potentially 25 today. Now, technically the best odds are minus 105 on Betway, but a lot of people don't have access to Betway, so we'll track at FanDuel. And let's talk about Kawhi, because he's not necessarily playing full-time, but he's about as close as he can get. He's over the last two games playing 34 and 35 minutes. Now, if you consider a full-time guy, if Kawhi Leonard's got no restrictions, and I really don't think he has a ton of restrictions, I think they're just playing a little bit safe, he'd probably be playing closer to 36 to 38 minutes, but he's basically playing 34, 35, so he's right next to that. And Kawhi did go under in his last game against Toronto, only scoring 15 points. Now, you know Toronto, they love to double team the opposing team's number one scorer, and in that game, Kawhi didn't have to go out there and score. You had four other guys on his team scoring 20-plus points. You had Paul George, Reggie Jackson, Ivica Zubac. We had Norman Powell. All scored 20-plus points. So Kawhi Leonard really didn't need to go out there and score a ton. All those guys attempted more shots than Kawhi. However, I think this is going to be a star-dominated game by Kawhi Leonard, Paul George, and then on the other side, Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown. Now, Kawhi and the Clippers just played Boston back on December 12th, a little over 2 weeks ago. He scored 25 points in 29 minutes, and that was a Clippers blowout. He shot like 10 for 12 from that game, just absolutely cooked them. Now, I expect him to shoot a little bit more than 12 times tonight because that's exactly what he shot in the last game versus the Raptors, but regardless, he's pretty efficient and he can easily go out there and score and hit this over with only 12 field goal attempts. But look at the last two times he attempted only 12 shots, which the third time would have been, last game. He attempted 18 and 19 field goal attempts the next two games. So I expect him to be more aggressive tonight. And look, Boston, a pretty decent matchup. They've given up the 8th most points per game to small forwards, Kawhi's position, over the last 15 games. So I think he'll have tough sledding for his other teammates, but I think Kawhi has a decent matchup here. And over his last 6 games, it's been a roller coaster ride. 25, then 19, 31, 16, 28, and 15 points. So he's been up and down, up and down. Luckily for us, it was down last game. I think he goes up this one, the over-under 226.5. I think he'll be asked to go out there and score pretty well. Guys like Reggie Jackson, Zubac, Powell, all these guys don't necessarily have the best matchups. You got, obviously, Marcus Smart probably guards a guy like Reggie Jackson. You probably have Al Horford or Robert Williams on Zubac. And then you got Derek White coming off the bench probably to guard Norman Powell. So I like Kawhi Leonard. Look, he's one of the best scorers in the NBA, and his line's still at 20.5. I'll take advantage of it while his line's still low. I'll give it to me. I'll take Kawhi Leonard, 21-plus points. That's what we need tonight. Let's move on to my second play. It's going to be my under of the day. We haven't taken a lot of unders as of the last couple days, but I really like this one, and it's Kevin Porter Jr. of the Houston Rockets. I like his under, 18.5 points, minus 113 on FanDuel. I don't expect this line to go down, but if it does, I wouldn't mind at 17.5. And the scary part about taking unders is recently the NBA has had so many players being randomly ruled out. So as long as Jalen Green's active today, this should be a good bet, but I'll obviously still track it regardless of guys get ruled out or in. Let's talk about KPJ though and the Rockets. They're on the road in Dallas today. really too far away from their hometown of Houston, but they're 10/11 point underdogs. So a blowout is an easy way to go under here for KPJ. But regardless, I don't like the matchup, and that's the reason I'm actually on this play. Now, they're on the road. Like I said, he averages 1 point per game less on the road than at home. That's pretty solid. And he's coming off 2 great games. He scored 36 and 22 points in his last 2 against Chicago and against Boston. But prior to that game, scored only 14 points against the Dallas Mavericks. So he struggled against them. And you look at his last 10 games, besides those 2, he's really struggled. In the last 10, gone under this line in 6 of those 10 games, and he's not a very efficient scorer. The reason normally KPJ hits the over is because his volume is ridiculous. But some games his volume is not there. And like I said, he's not a very efficient scorer, just shooting 43.2% from the field, 32.7% from 3-point this season. And he's had 2 above average shooting games. Is there a guarantee this guy shoots 3 games in a row pretty well? No. And it's a terrible matchup because the Mavericks, 3rd fewest points per game, 2nd fewest 3-pointers allowed to point guards this season. That is Kevin Porter Jr.'s position, and usually when he's scoring, he's usually knocking down some threes. And if he doesn't knock down many threes today, it's going to be tough sledding for him. And this Mavericks defense has gotten a tick better with Christian Wood in the lineup. He's a little bit better of a rim protector than a guy like Dwight Powell. And KPJ's last 7 games versus Dallas, averaged, and these are all when he's been in Houston, averaged 13.9 points per game, under 18.5 points in all 7 games. Like, he can see a ton of volume today, but I don't think he does. But even if he does, he's capable of going out there and shooting like 3 for 17. Not crazy. And look, I don't necessarily know if he's the guy that guards Luka Doncic, but there's always foul trouble there, and there's always blowout potential here. Look, I like KPJ. I think he's a pretty solid player, pretty good young player, but I don't like his matchup today. He's had 2 great good games. They still haven't moved his line. They saw 2 very solid games. Like, keep the line the same. I'm going to take his under 18.5 points, minus 113 as Fando as our second play of the day. Now, my third and final play, and we'll actually talk about 2 leans. I won't have any added plays today, but I do want to talk about this third play. And if you don't have a same game parlay, which is what it is, I'll give you a couple different leans as to what I would like out of these 3 players. Because we're going to the OKC versus Hornets game. I'm going to start with this guy, Mr. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. 3 legs. One of them is SGA, 25 plus points from him. The next one, LaMelo Ball, 20 plus points. Then the last one, Terry Rozier, 15 plus points. This is minus 110 on DraftKings. On FanDuel, I believe it was minus 113. Now, I get it. For the comment section goes down below. Not the best of odds. I understand. You don't have to play it. But I really am very confident in this. And I love all 3 of these players' overs and points tonight. And I'm confident that all 3 of these guys can hit this, and they could even hit this in like the 3rd quarter. And I don't expect this game to be a blowout, but either way, they're still capable of hitting this over. Now, the over-under is 240. Plenty of points to go around for these 3 guys, and look, they're going to be the 3 guys that are probably shooting the most on each of their teams. Now, let's talk about these guys, and I believe Rozier actually is the best matchup out of these 3, but if I had to pick one over, if you're like, Austin, I don't have SGPs, I don't have same-game parlays, I'll lean probably in this order. I like SGA, obviously he's the most consistent, then LaMelo, and then Rozier. Rozier has the best matchup, however, you just never know with Rozier. You can go out there and clank it up, but I think all 3 of these guys can get it done. Now, let's talk about each of the legs. SGA, 25 plus points in 26 of 31 games. If you want to go up to 30 plus, I don't hate that either, but he should easily be able to get us 25 tonight. He has done that in 7 straight games, and he has 29 and 32 in his last 2 versus Charlotte. Come on, it's SGA. He's a GOAT. Now let's move on to LaMelo. 20 plus points in 8 straight games since his return. 25 points per game average in those 8 games. 21.9 field goal attempts per game. This guy is going out there firing up a ton of shots. And he's going to continue to fire up shots. Lou Dort will probably be on him. Lou Dort's a pretty good defender, but LaMelo's going to keep firing. His over like 3.5 threes is like minus 150. So they're clearly expecting him to knock down some threes. Now, Rozier could be the sketchiest of the legs, but 15 plus points in 21 of 25 games this year. 15 plus in 6 of 9 with LaMelo. And he's had a couple bad games here and there, but Kelly Oubre unlikely to play. So more shot volume coming Rozier's way. And look, the last 15 games, OKC. 6th most points per game allowed to shooting guards, 2nd most 3-pointers allowed to shooting guards. You look at Rozier, 15 plus points, 5 straight games versus OKC. So if you're scared about Rozier, you can move him off, but I think he can easily get 15 points. They moved up his line despite him, not playing great in his last game, but still, I think he has a great matchup here, especially with Lou Dort likely guarding LaMelo. But I still think LaMelo's volume is good enough to get him 20 plus points. I just don't know if he gets the 25 that he needs for his regular line. But all 3 of these guys do their job, 25, 20, and 15, minus 110. Look, I'll take my chances. This is lower than all the regular lines. I think their lines are somewhat sharp, but I think all of these 3 guys can get close to the regular lines, which means they're going to easily cash the same game parlay. We've done really well on these same game parlays. Let's go out there and cash another one. Now, I got a couple leans for you guys. I don't recommend betting these, but I do want to talk about 2 players that were on my radar. Just something spooked me, and I didn't really want to take them. The first one, Jaren Jackson Jr., over 13.5 points. Foul trouble, spooked me off JJJ. Don't love his matchup today versus Toronto, but we know Toronto's going to be a team, probably going to double team Ja Morant. And JJJ is going to have to step up. The problem is JJJ also can get 5 fouls in like 3 minutes against Pascal Siakam, who he's probably going to have to guard. So count me out on JJJ. I just think he has a decent game. And Donovan Mitchell over 27.5 points. I think the juice comes down a little bit on Spida, but I think he's got a great matchup and a great bounce back spot versus Indiana, a team I think he scored 41 versus, and they're on the road where Darius Garland has struggled. So I don't mind either of those two plays. I won't add either of them in the comment section. I won't track them if they do hit. I won't track them if they lose. I just want to point them out. I don't mind either of those. Now, it's time to shout out some COS All-Stars. If you become one today, your name will be shouted out tomorrow. Go hit the join button down below. Subscribe if you're new. Let's shout out these names and butcher some of them. We got VN777. We got Roger. We got Tim. Rambo to Ghoul. We got Kieran. We got Trey So Goated. We got Jacob. We got Jakob. Maybe Jacob again. Jonas, I don't know. BB Hawks, 90. Roberto, AQ. We got Screener. We got IMJ Hunter. We got Israel. We got Vitor. We got Winston. We got Rob. We got Jacob. Dude, Jacobs are out here. If you're a Jacob, you better become a COS All-Star. Speaking to you, Jacob. We got Joseph, Lucas, Jonathan, Jose, David, B, Raphael, Spyros, Alec, Reggie, Matthew, Austin. All the Austins out there, you better become a COS All-Star as well. PJ, Raymond, Smoochie2K, and Kaya. Appreciate you guys, Jacob and Austin. You guys have some work to do. Go hit that join button. I appreciate you guys as always. Let's go 3-0. Let's bring out the brooms. Man, yesterday should have been a broom day, but we will take the 3-0. Obviously, Kawhi Leonard over in points. We're going with Kevin Porter Jr.'s under in points, and then that same game parlay with LaMelo, SGA, and Terry Rozier. Let's have a great day. Thursday Night Football video is going to pop up. I'll put it right here. Go check it out. I'm Austin. See you guys back in tomorrow. Let's hit 63,000 subscribers. Go into 2023 with a bang. See you guys in the next one. Peace out.